देखो अंग्रेज कंपटीशन है ये, इसमें मैंने पार्टिसिपेट करा है। वर्ल्ड के लोग हैं, चाइना के, अमेरिका के। 235 लोगों ने ज्वाइन कर रखा है।
Expiration date. Ceremony. We'll be starting to record the ceremony. So I'm going to do that. So if you do not want to be recorded, please mute your camera. I mean, please turn off your camera and mute yourself. So we are live on YouTube. So welcome to the International Youth BrainSTEM Summit. We're super excited to have you here, and we're ready for the next 3 days of innovation and enrichment. So this competition is hosted by Simple Neuroscience and the International Youth Neuroscience. So we wanted to introduce ourselves first. This is the core organizing team.
I think you're a bit hard to hear.
Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me?
It's a little bit quiet.
Okay. Can everybody please mute themselves if they are not a host? Okay, it's a little soft. Okay, maybe I'm just gonna have to speak louder. Can you guys hear me now? Okay, yeah, so I'm just gonna speak louder because normally I have a quiet voice, but welcome to the International Youth BrainSTEM Summit again. And we're just going to be introducing ourselves as the core organizing team. So I am Athena Yao, and I am the Chief Operating Officer at Simply Neuroscience. I'm going to be an undergraduate student at Duke University, and I'm super excited to be on the organizing team. Next up, we have Aravind and Skylar, who sadly were not able to make it, but Aravind and Skylar are President and Vice President of the Board of Directors at Simply Neuroscience, respectively, and Skylar will actually be hosting one of the workshops on UI design later today. Next, we have Kayla.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kayla. I'm the Chief Executive Officer at the International Youth Neuroscience Association, also on the core organizing team. I'm a rising junior at NYU Shanghai and also super excited to be here with you all.
Yeah, that's Kayla. And we also have Brian.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer at the International Youth Neuroscience Association. Super excited to see all 245 of you here, and I'm an incoming freshman at Claremont McKenna College.
So welcome everybody. And obviously, if you have any questions throughout the course of the competition, you can always message us on Slack or in the questions channel. I know a lot of you have been messaging us already, which is great. So don't ever hesitate to reach out. So a little bit more about our organizations. So I'll speak on behalf of Simply Neuroscience. We are an international student-run, fiscally sponsored 501c3 nonprofit organization that empowers students to get involved in the interdisciplinary fields of neuroscience and psychology, and awareness. And over the course of the past year or two, we've amounted to about 200 staff members and growing, and thousands of students reached through our social media platforms and lesson plans and workshops, which have been hosted in countries including Turkey, India, Brazil, and so many more. And we're really excited to be hosting the competition. Now, on behalf of the IYNA, I think either Kayla or Brian can speak to that.
Yeah, I can give you guys a brief overview of IYNA. We are also a 501c3 nonprofit, and our mission is to inspire the next generation of neuroscientists. Currently, we have a little over 5,000 members in 95 countries and around 250 chapters in 30 different countries. So super diverse organization, which is continuing to become more diverse, which is really, really exciting. I guess some of the big things that we've been working on over the past year are expanding our chapters network, putting up some resources, some lesson plans, and we also put out a bi-monthly journal, which is the largest youth neuroscience journal in the world. And we're also hosting some competitions, International Neuroethics Society competition for an essay contest, and we're hoping to start a couple more competitions this year. And we also have a summer course on introductory level neuroscience that we started hosting with some really cool professors, also all over the world from places like Harvard, Columbia, places like that. And yeah, we also have a Slack that Brian can drop the link to in the chat if you want to connect with some of the members that are in IYNA. And you can feel free to PM either of us in the chat if you have any questions.
So next
And
is
another reminder for,
yeah.
Sorry, Athena. Another reminder, can everyone please mute themselves in the Zoom call? Thank you.
All right, so for our icebreaker, please drop in the chat which state or country are you tuning into this opening ceremony from? I know a lot of people actually started talking about where they've been coming from now, so feel free to mention that. Ooh, we see in India, New York, New Jersey, Toronto, California, Kenya, SoCal, New Jersey, Philippines, exciting, Jersey, Texas, Philippines. Oh my gosh, they're all dropping in so fast. I see Nigeria, Colorado, Pakistan, Egypt, Nigeria, Nevada, Ghana, Turkey, Arizona, Zimbabwe, Minnesota, Illinois, Georgia, Pennsylvania. We have a lot of places represented here. That's incredible. And thank you for tuning in. I know it might be early in the morning for some of you or late at night. So we're really grateful to have you here joining us. All right. So I can see we're probably going to do the math later, but that is incredible. Oh, I can mute everyone else's mic. How do I do that? It's okay. We'll figure it out. Okay. So next up, we want to say thank you to all of our sponsors and supporters. Our diamond sponsor is the New York Academy of Sciences, which has been Academy for over 200 years and has many incredible members, including Charles Darwin. And they will be providing membership into the New York Academy of Sciences as a prize for some of our winners. And it's really an incredible program. They have the Junior Academy program, which I actually was a part of, and mentoring programs such as the 1,000 Girls, 1,000 Future program. So I would definitely recommend checking them out. We also have Texas Instruments, which is a gold sponsor, and they will be donating calculators and student software for some of our prizes. And we have the Art of Problem Solving and Sticker Mule. The Art of Problem Solving provides educational resources for students in grades 5 through 12, and we'll also be providing coupons for our prize winners. And we also have Sticker Mule, which will be helping us get Simply Neuroscience merch, which will be mailed out to you in the forms of stickers in winter packages. So what is the International Youth BrainSTEM Summit? Well, we kind of already went over this, but it's a virtual 3-day neuroscience themed ideathon for students ages 13 to 22. And you guys will be picking a challenge prompt out of 5 categories and having about 72 hours to develop a solution, which you will be pitching for 7 minutes to a panel of judges tomorrow, actually coming up very soon. And I know a lot of you guys are interested in neuroscience, but you don't really know how to get involved. Or you might have a slight interest in neuroscience, but you aren't sure how it would connect with other interests. But our aim with this was to really recognize the interdisciplinary field of neuroscience. So it's not just about science, but also about the humanities and other fields of STEM. So for our categories and challenge statements, we have 5 categories. So there's ethics, engineering, neuroeconomics, healthcare / public health, and research. I believe Brian can probably describe a little bit more about each challenge statement.
Yeah, sure. So I think actually, Kayla, do you want to start with this slide and then I can take the next one?
Yeah, sure. So for the ethics portion, what you're supposed to do is choose a neuroethical issue in one of the predominant neuroethics fields. So you can choose things like cognitive enhancement, criminology, various things like this. The suggestions are listed on the prompt itself. And then for neuroengineering, you're encouraged to design an engineering-based solution to help aid individuals with some kind of neurological or psychiatric disorder. For this one, you don't have to make a prototype, but it definitely would help or add bonus points if you did. And then for neuroeconomics, we have 2 different prompts, I believe. One is to identify some kind of psychological phenomenon that occurs in the field of like neuromarketing or neuroeconomics. And then the second one is to introduce some kind of advertising tactic that combines knowledge of like advertisements and economics and some psychological phenomena.
Yeah, definitely. And our next track would be healthcare and public health. And there are actually 2 prompts that you could answer in this category. One would be designing a policy change or a product that would fix like a shared weakness that 2 countries have for outbreaks of diseases. And the second prompt would be identifying a problem in the field of healthcare that is related to neuroscience. And I know there's a lot of questions about these surveys and feedback kind of aspect of these prompts, so we can answer those later at the end of the presentation. The next category would be research, and for this prompt, there's only one prompt, and you're choosing from a few different frontiers that are listed in the information packet, and basically proposing a research question and an experiment to answer this question.
Awesome. So those are our challenge statements, and we will be opening the floor to questions towards the end of the presentation. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask when we mention that. So for final project submission requirements, you will be required to answer at least one of these challenge prompts. Detailed information can be found in the information packet, which looks like this on the right and has been in the Slack channel, and I believe by email. And at the end, you produce an end product of a 7-minute long presentation, and you will be preparing for 3 minutes of questions from judges afterwards. And additionally, you'll be submitting a 1-page executive summary report. So throughout the course of the competition, you should make sure that you work to get your project submitted on time, which is on Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern time, which is 24 hours, less than 24 hours, because we released the challenge prompt a bit earlier to give you guys more time to work on this. And you should be sure to submit it through the final project submission Google form, and be sure that you receive confirmation afterwards that we have received your response. So this will be due tomorrow before the presentations begin. And in terms of the presentation, you'll be asked to sign up for a presentation slot, which will be released on an Excel spreadsheet or like a Google Sheets spreadsheet.
I was pretty sure, like, I knew this, like, no, I didn't even know this. How did you know this? What do you mean you didn't? You guys just.
Hi, you're actually not muted currently. Can you please mute yourself on the Zoom call? Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I thought that was close. For a second, I was confused. All right, so yes, you will be asked to sign up for a presentation slot on the spreadsheet, and all presentations will be held on Saturday, August 1st, tomorrow, from 11 p.m. Eastern Time to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, meaning there will be 10.5 hours where you can sign up to present. Obviously, you only have to be there for the 10-minute slot that you signed up for. And make sure you do not accidentally remove another group from any time slot, and that you join the correct meeting slot for your presentation. All team members are present and that there are no technical issues. So when you join the meeting, please turn your camera off and mute yourself if something else, if there's another presentation going on, or if the judges are still deliberating, so that they don't affect that. And we must mention that there will be 5 Zoom meetings running simultaneously during the entire course of the 10.5 hours. So it's extremely important that you know which slot you are in, because that represents a different Zoom meeting that you will join. So there's one meeting for each slot. Your presentation must be no longer 7 minutes long. I'm also just going to figure out,
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to mute everybody because
I think, Athena, I think you can click manage participants, and then there may be an option to mute everyone from there.
all right. Okay, yeah, that's great. Okay, so as I mentioned, it's very important you join the correct meetings. I know I'm emphasizing this a lot, but we want to make sure that you're in the correct meeting at the right time. And your presentation must be no longer than 7 minutes long. And you must be prepared to answer questions from the judges about your solution for 2 to 3 minutes. Please try to keep your solution presentation under 7 minutes, because we do have a lot of presentations to go over, and we don't want to have one team have more time than another team. And after all the presentations are over, at the end of the day, top 10 finalist teams will be notified of their status by 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So judging ends at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And in the course of those 30 minutes, we will be identifying the top 10 scoring teams. This will likely be 5 from each age category. So 5 from the 13 to 17 age category, and 5 from the 18 to 22 age category. And these top finalist teams will be asked to present their solutions again, this time to our expert judges, the following day on Sunday, August 2nd from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and you will be asked to sign up for a presentation slot. So if you think you have a chance at winning finalist status, please be sure to check your emails by around 10 p.m. Eastern Time, because we want to make sure that you're able to sign up for your presentation slot in time. And if you're not able to make it, you should probably let us know as soon as possible, so that you can submit a Zoom recorded video of your presentation, which we will play on top 10 finalist presentation day. So basic things you must know.
Can I append one thing to that?
Yeah.
If you're chosen to be a finalist, you will need to submit a consent form so that we can record the final presentation. I believe Brian sent that to you all in the email, but just like make sure that you bring the signed consent form to your final presentation if you're in the top 10.
Yeah, for sure. It's very important.
Yeah.
We don't want to.
Sorry, Athena. We'll be sending out a message in the announcements Slack channel if you want to prematurely fill out that consent form. We all highly recommend prematurely filling out that consent form, so that it will be easily sent to us in the case that you end up being a top 10 group.
Yeah. All right. So basic things you must know. Final presentations with the executive summary and presentation slides. This should be in the form of a PDF. Are due Saturday, August 1st at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And obviously, we can't make any exceptions because that would be unfair to other teams. So that's in less than 24 hours. So be sure to check out that. There will also you should also make sure to sign up for a presentation time slot for tomorrow and show up to the correct Zoom meeting on time. There will also be optional workshops and keynote speaker sessions, which we will go over in the next slides, and we would highly recommend attending at least one of these sessions. These sessions are here especially for you to learn about neuroscience. I know a lot of you guys mentioned in the comments on the Simply Neuroscience Instagram page that you weren't sure what to do if you didn't have experience in the past. That's what we're here to help with. We have a lot of workshops that will help you learn more about research or science communication or designing an app prototype if you're interested in creating an app for your solution but don't know how to code or how to get started in such a short time frame. And top 10 presentations will be open to everyone to watch. So this will be on Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And make sure to check Slack and your email regularly, especially after all the presentations end, so your team will know if you have been selected. And the closing ceremony and winner announcement will begin on Sunday, August 2nd at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Before this, we will have a keynote speech at 8 p.m. Eastern Time from one of our professors. And even if your team was not selected as a top 10 finalist, there's still a chance that you will receive a Best in Category award. So we highly recommend attending this closing ceremony anyway. So this is the competition schedule. This is actually a screenshot from our website, so you can check out simplyneuroscience.org/brainstem for more information. And so for the competition schedule, we are currently in our opening ceremony. In less than 5 hours, we will have a workshop by Jacob Umans, who will be discussing how to make the most out of a research experience. Next up, we will have a workshop on finding and securing internships in high school, and then a workshop on science communication and app prototyping. And then all solutions will be due 9 a.m. We will have a keynote speech from Dr. Adam Casano to kick off everything, so we would recommend attending that. And we will have presentations all throughout the day and announcing top 10 winners at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So these winners will have about 12 hours to be sure to sign up for their slot and prepare their presentation again. So it's very important to check Slack and everything. The judges will be discussing and making their final decision in time for our closing ceremony and our keynote speech at 8 p.m. And then we will have an optional winners meeting. Likely this might change depending on what we decide with the schedule later on, but this is, as of now, this is probably happening after the closing ceremony to discuss prizes and congratulate winners. So for our keynote speakers, we have Dr. Adam Casano, PhD from Drew University, who is the chair of the chemistry department at Drew University, and will be discussing some of his research and his journey in the sciences. He's done a lot of biomedical research and research on phosphodiester bonds and other biological processes. And on Sunday, before our closing ceremony, we will be having a speech from Professor Roger Knowles, PhD, who took an unusual route to becoming Drew's neurobiologist and expert in Alzheimer's disease research. So he earned a PhD from Harvard University in neuroscience before joining Drew University, and has since worked to create more research opportunities for undergraduates. More information on the keynote speakers can also be found on the website. And about the workshops, we're going to go a little more in depth about what I briefly glossed over when describing the schedule. So Jacob Umans, who recently graduated from Stanford University, will highlight key considerations when choosing and working in a lab to make sure your research experience is as rewarding as possible. And next up, Shivali will discuss finding and securing STEM internships in high school. She is the founder and executive director of Grow Genius, which has grown exponentially in the past 2 years in impact. They actually hosted their conference a few weeks ago, over 2,500 girls, so it's incredible. And she's secured internships at companies such as Verizon, the University of Arizona, SRI, and Safe Squad. So she will discuss cold emailing companies, maximizing your resume, and finding internships during the current pandemic. Next, we will have science communication with Adrian Lee, and he's going to be discussing how you can effectively communicate your work with other scholars and the general public. This may be very important in helping you when you're preparing your presentation, because you have this idea, but you want to figure out how to present it in the best way possible so that the judges understand and are also impressed by your work. So we would recommend attending this workshop at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you're interested in creating a mobile application prototype, whether that's for this competition or just as something cool that you would like to learn, we would recommend attending Skylar Basco's workshop at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. She's actually one of the organizers, as I mentioned earlier, but wasn't able to be here at this meeting, so she'll definitely be there for the workshop. She's actually won a lot of awards throughout the course of her career for her designs, so we would highly suggest attending this if you want to learn more. So prizes. I know many of you guys have asked about this. We actually recently put up detailed information on prizes on our website, but here they are. So for the 13 to 17 age category, you will earn each member will earn a TI-84 Plus calculator, which will be mailed directly from Texas Instruments, which is a $100 value. You have $50 to be divided equally among your members, and every single member will receive a certificate of achievement and Simply Neuroscience swag in the mail. Recognition and opportunities. Oh, okay. I thought I muted everybody, but it's fine. All right. And you will receive a $25 coupon from the Art of Problem Solving, which again provides educational resources, classes, and other products. You will also receive automatic acceptance into the Junior Academy of the New York Academy for fall 20. Let me mute everybody again. Okay. So they typically have an approximate 10% acceptance rate. And every year they host many innovation challenges that you cannot participate if you're not a member. I actually participated in some of their challenges and was a winner of the Regeneron and Metadata Genomics Challenge. And I presented my solution on a full expense paid trip to New York City. So that's something that you could win if you are accepted into the Junior Academy. And second place teams will receive the TI-84 Plus calculator, a physical certificate of achievement, and also automatic acceptance into the Junior Academy. And for the 18 to 22 age category, you will receive TI Inspire CXCAS student software, which is a $70 value, $50 to be divided equally among members, the certificate of achievement and Simply Neuroscience swag, in addition to recognition on our social media platforms. And you will also earn 1 year of full membership to the New York Academy of Sciences, which is for people above the age of 18, which is a $135 value, which entitles you to many benefits, I guess, including a complimentary subscription to Nature or Scientific American and access to many of their resources. I also forgot to mention Junior Academy members, once they turn 18, will also receive 1 year full membership for the 13 to 17 age category winners. And second place will receive the student software, their certificate of achievement, and 1 year of full membership to the New York Academy of Sciences. And for the Best in Category awards, we are still in the process of deciding the very specifics about how this is going to work out. But as of now, we're thinking about having one winner from each category. That would be ethics, neuroethics, engineering, that kind of thing. And they will receive physical certificates of achievement in the mail and either automatic acceptance into the Junior Academy or a full year membership to the New York Academy of Sciences, depending on their age category. So now we are opening the floor to questions. You can feel free to type your questions in the Zoom chat. It can really be about anything regarding the competition. So whether that's about the schedule or the presentations or your final. Okay, so with questions. For Simply Neuroscience swag, we are creating stickers and that will be mailed out in packages with the certificates to our winners. Will we be able to...
Emma's asking, will we be able to choose our presentation slots due to group members being in different time zones? Yes, so across the entire day, there's actually quite a few presentation slots, and you shouldn't have any trouble in finding a slot that works for everyone in your group. But yeah, you do have the choice of choosing the slot.
Yeah, so we would suggest filling out the spreadsheet that we're going to send out as soon as possible so that you get the time slot that you want and nobody else has taken it yet. All attendees will get an online certificate of participation. This will be sent to you via email if you submit a project. So if you don't submit a project, you will not get a certificate. You are not open to watch the first round of presentations. These will be just from the judges. So only the top 10 presentations will be open to the public. To find the signups, I believe that is referring to the signups for the presentation slots, which we will send out in a Slack channel and via email soon. Who are the judges? So we have over 30 judges. It's a lot of undergraduate students, people with master's degrees, PhD candidates, and professors and PhD people who have PhDs. And more detailed information about the judges and pretty much everything about the competition can be found on our website, which I will send in the chat here. So it's simplyneuroscience.org/brainstem. The executive summary is being submitted. This will be uploaded in addition to a PDF of the slides via a Google form that we sent out earlier to submit your final presentation. So this must be submitted at the same time as your final solution. What is expected for the survey portion of the presentation? We've gotten that as a pretty common question. So for the survey portion of the presentation, that is to collect some feedback from potential users, or if you're able to get feedback from any experts in the field. This is just to determine your solution's feasibility and its potential impact. And what is the executive summary expected to have? I know the questions are really rolling in, so I'm trying to answer as many as possible. But so the executive summary should provide a summary of your solution. So that will include a background and problem statement and your hypothesis or just your solution as a whole, and then any data or feedback collected, maybe a conclusion if you have space, describing its impact. Are the original presentations recorded? The original presentations are not recorded, so you don't have to worry about requesting them not to be recorded. Recording workshops for later viewing, we can probably do that. And I know some, since we are partnering with Shivali from Grow Genius, I believe they would want a recording of that workshop. So we can probably record throughout the course of the Zoom workshops. Do all members have to present during the first round? Yes, we expect that at least that all the team members at least try to be there. If there's really some kind of circumstance in which they cannot be there, then please let us know. And the executive summary is not supposed to be presented throughout the presentation. The executive summary is just submitted as a PDF, and that's it. The judges will just look over it, and you don't have to mention anything about the executive summary in the presentation. Where in Slack will I access the PDF with the prompts? So to access the PDF with the prompts, that would be in the announcements channel. If you scroll up a bit, Brian will have pinned a message, and he has posted about 5 PDF links. So be sure to check the info packet. Many questions have been actually answered in the info packet, so please be sure to check that. And all right, I think we answered a lot of the questions, and I don't know if there are questions being asked on YouTube right now. I'm not sure because we are live streaming. So if anybody could check that, that would be great. The executive summary can be a passage of writing. Irrespectively of the challenge you choose, there will just be 5 top scoring finalists from each category. And of course, each category, we are doing best in category awards for the challenge that you choose. The format of the executive summary, we would suggest it's an infographic as mentioned previously, but you can also just make it in the form of text. And yes, you do need a works cited or bibliography. We would suggest that this is in APA citation style. Are we going to meet the founder? In terms of meeting the founder, I believe she means like the organizing team, which is us. So hi. But yeah, scrolling up in announcements in Slack, that's a problem. Doing the research project. For the research prompt, no, you don't have to have a prototype. You should have a detailed description at least for your plan for the experiment. Best in category, as of now, we are thinking about making them in both age groups, but we are trying to find a way where you would not be competing with people in other age groups. It's just we do have a limited number of prizes and we can only do 5. So we're going to try to figure that out and get back to you. Do we need a survey? If you are not doing the research prompt, but you're doing the healthcare prompt, we would suggest a survey. For the details about survey requirements and project requirements are included in the information packet. So you can scroll up in the announcements channel as mentioned previously to read that. The 7 minutes doesn't, yeah, you can go.
Also, if there's a slash separating 2 items such as prototype slash other item, then that means only one of the items needs to be completed. And so yeah, Kayla kind of just answered this. There, you don't need a prototype unless you're doing like one of the engineering prompts, but you do need a detailed description for all of the other prompts.
Yeah. In regards to a survey for the healthcare prompt, we would highly suggest that. So I would recommend trying to get on that as soon as possible with your team. Sending the presentation slot link will be sent, the sign up spreadsheet will be on both Slack and through email. So be sure to check both. And
Actually, the presentation signups will only be sent through email. We're sending it to all of the emails of the group members who signed up through the Google form.
Okay, sounds good. The ethics category. Should the citations be part of your presentation or the executive summary? That should probably be a part of your presentation because your executive summary is only one page, so you won't be able to finish it. So in answer to Rowan's question, he said he is unable to see the PDF in the IYNA Slack announcements channel. That's not the correct Slack. It should be the International Youth BrainSTEM Summit Slack announcements channel. So you can message me later if you're not in that channel. I think you should be, but I'll ask you, but you can check with that later. What is the survey for the healthcare prompt? It can be really whatever you want as long as it asks people for feedback and discusses the social impact of your solution. If your healthcare prompt does not make sense to have a survey, then it is not required because we don't want you to do extra work that is unnecessary. You will have a total of 10 minutes. So the 7 minutes will be for your presentation, and then there will be 3 minutes of questions. The infographic/executive summary does not need to be embedded in your presentation. This is just to give judges a better sense of what your project is about before they watch your presentation. Right. Oh, I see more questions. Okay, in terms of so I have a private question from somebody who needs to be added to the Slack. So if anybody still needs to be added to the Slack, please private message me with your email and I will add you to the Slack after the ceremony ends.
If you also need to be added to the Slack still, could you please include in your message to Athena the date that you registered for the event, / if you're registered with a group already?
Yeah, that would be very important. The deadline to submit the final presentation is Saturday, which is tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay. I just have to be sure that I'm going to take a picture of the people who mentioned in the chat that they need to be added. Okay. Addressing both feasibility. Yeah, you can.
Oh. Okay. I think Badgie was asking this question a few times. So what format should the executive summary be in? It can be really in any format. Infographic is probably one of the more common or easier ways to go about it, but it should be approximately 1 page and contain all of the key information from your presentation.
Yeah. So in answer to Julietta's question, should we craft a hypothetical experiment based on research and do a survey? Yes, you do not have to do a survey if your hypothetical experiment does not work well with a survey. So definitely the research aspect is important for crafting the experiment. Infographics, yes, infographics are technically less than 1 page. That's why we would suggest making the executive summary in the form of an infographic, which would be no bigger than 1 page. I believe it should be no larger than normal print size paper, so 8.5 by 11 inches for that sheet. You will not submit everything through an email. You would have to submit it through the Google form that we posted in the Slack channel. So be sure to submit it through that, or otherwise you will not be eligible to present your solution. When you ask about feasibility / social impact, we would suggest doing both if you can, but if you're unable to gather conclusive evidence for either one of those, then you obviously only have to do one. Oh, somebody else sent me an email, so I'm going to take a picture of that. The size of the infographic, it should be no longer than regular print size paper, so 8.5 by 11 inches for the executive summary. Both the summary and presentation do have to be in PDF form when you're submitting through the Google form, but obviously the presentation can be in the form of a slideshow presentation that would be dynamic. It can be clickable during the actual presentation. But when you're submitting through the Google form, yes, they both have to be in PDF form. Where to submit the executive summary, that will be the Google form. Brian, could you actually post a link to the Google form? Because I know we've had a couple of questions about where to submit your final solution.
Yeah, sure. I'll post that in the Zoom chat right now.
Okay. Yeah, so is a survey compulsory for the healthcare prompt? I know we've answered this question a couple of times. You do not have to make a survey, but we would highly suggest doing one if possible. Okay, I see another email, so I'm gonna take a picture of that. Can we do a written summary that addresses our problem and solution? You can do a written summary for the executive summary, but you should still have a presentation deck made. If you are unable to make a presentation slot, that would be good in answer to Raga's question. If you are unable to present your presentation live, please do let us know, and you can indeed record a voiceover. In terms of seeing examples of previous presentations, this is actually the first year that we are hosting the International Youth BrainSTEM Summit, so there are no previous presentations. I apologize about that. If you already have citations. If you do have citations in your presentation already, citations are not required in the executive summary infographic because we recognize that you will not have enough space. You do not have to explain the summary at the end of your presentation. The executive summary and the presentation are completely separate, so you do not have to mention the executive summary at all in your presentation to judges. So Brian has posted the final submission Google form in the chat. Please be sure to check that out. And for the engineering prompt, we would suggest doing a prototype so that the judges can see what you are planning to do and what idea you're proposing. But obviously, if a prototype is not possible, then they're not required, as Kayla mentioned. Citations are required at the end of the presentation. You can just have one slide where you copy and paste all your citations. I'm not sure you'll be able to fit them in your executive summary report because that's only 1 page long. So we would recommend putting it in the presentation. Yes, include citations in the presentation slides in that case. Okay, this is a question that many people are asking. So in regards to citations, only in the presentation. Executive summary, no citations because we recognize you're not going to have enough space to fit citations in 1 page. The executive summary can have links to a website. If you're creating a website, you can put a link to that. If you're like made an app or something and you want to record a YouTube video of the app in action, you can also put a link to that, something like that. Size limit for the PDFs being submitted. I believe Google Form has a limit of 10 MB for the size. And also you should make sure that it's no bigger than a regular sheet of paper that you would print out. So 8.5 by 11 inches. You do not have to
add 2 things about citations if it's okay. One, you should definitely be better safe than sorry. Always cite if you think something's not yours, because plagiarism is something that we take super seriously. And also, if you're making a claim that's not common knowledge and you don't cite it, it looks like you just made it up. So if you want your proposal to be taken seriously and to be considered academic, then you need to cite everything and cite properly.
Yeah, exactly. And yes, citations are in APA. And yes, you will get information about the neuroethics prompts as well as all of the other prompts in the PDF information packet that has been sent in the Slack. So I will be adding you to that later. If your team's project falls into multiple categories, yes, you pick one of them, 1 team per category. If you want to be on multiple teams, which we would not recommend because you probably won't have enough time for that, you can be on more than 1 team, but you would have to be entering different categories in each team. The citations do not have to be incorporated throughout the presentation. It can be just at the end of the presentation in APA format. Yes, as
So I
mentioned,
wanted to add something to the group signups that will be released after this opening ceremony. Only 1 member of your group needs to fill out that form. So please only have 1 member actually sign up for a presentation slot at that time.
Yeah. And I think when you sign up, it might be best to put your team's name and then list all the names of your members so we are completely sure what team you are. Because in your final submission, you will be asked to give your team a name. This is for us to better identify you, especially since we have hundreds of participants. So it would be good to determine a name as soon as possible and write that name down when you are signing up for presentation slots. If your team cannot make the presentation due to different time zones, yes, you can create a video of your presentation and just let us know privately. Then for the neuroeconomics prompt, to complete for the feasibility and social impact of the solution, this can either be through research or if you want to do a survey, pretty much anything that you can possibly use to determine feasibility. If you want to discuss potential impact in terms of monetary value of like how much your solution will be able to generate in revenue or something, then you can also do that using estimates.
The presentation sign-up sheet is a spreadsheet.
Yeah. Okay, somebody asked me, is there simply neuroscience merch? Yes, that will be in the form of stickers that will be sent out to participants who win and will also receive physical certificates in the mail. For the video, how will the questioning period work? In terms of that, if judges have any questions, they can message us and we will convey those questions to you and your team by creating a group DM with you. Your team name can be the name of the so that actually would make it easier if your team name is actually the name of your prototype, because then it makes your team a lot more memorable. Right. So if I did not answer a question, it got lost in this because we got so many questions, you can feel free to retype that question in the Zoom. Otherwise, we will be moving on, and I think the ceremony will be closing quite soon after this. Right. Have we answered all the questions? I believe we have then, right?
Also, just one more reminder about group signups. So again, only one member of each group needs to actually sign up for the team, and you will have to write down each of the team members' names, as well as the team name, as Athena said, in a cell on a Google spreadsheet. If you remove another team's name, or if you sign up for multiple slots, action will be taken that is up to the organizers of the event. So please do not do any of those two things.
Yeah, because not only will you be messing up somebody else's team, and that would just be unfair, then that's kind of like not really in line with our code of ethics. Right. Have we answered all the questions? I really hope we have. I know I was talking for a long period of time because we did have a lot of questions rolling in. Yeah, as I mentioned to Maxwell, if your team falls into multiple categories, just pick one category. One team cannot enter more than one category. It is not too late to change your topic. You have as much time as you need to change your topic and switch to a different prompt, as long as you submit your solution by tomorrow, Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern time before presentation. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so that's around the end of our ceremony, and we hope that you learned a bit more about the competition, and we're really looking forward to meeting you guys. We do have a workshop happening later today. The next one is at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, which is actually in about 4 hours or so, and it'll be the same Zoom link to join all of the workshops. That's another important thing. Same Zoom link as you used for this one. Password is BrainSTEM if prompted. And we will see you at the workshops, hopefully, from 2:30, all at 2:30, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time for the workshops. And good luck to everybody. Thank you so much for attending. I hope we answered your questions. If you still have any questions, feel free to message us, one of the organizers, via Slack, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. And we cannot wait to see all of your credible innovations tomorrow and seeing you at our top 10 presentations and closing ceremony on Sunday. So we'll see you later and have an incredible day. All right.
And we'll send out the emails right now. So check your emails right now.
Make sure to sign up for the presentations. Great. We'll see you. Bye.